Welcome to Nobody. Trash TV review with Dwight and Walter. I'm Dwight, that's Walter.
That's right.
I used to put your name first.
No.
Fuck that.
You're the star.
I'm doing all the work here. You got to see what goes into this, though. Walter just spent the last half hour because he fucked up the headphones, right?
Troubleshooting like a motherfucker.
The fuck happened? I hate this shit. He sounded like his mom, but that made him mad when I pointed that out to him, so I had to take it back. It is that the other people have to become accountable for their actions and their avarice, right?
And we can't believe that we seem so good that we're getting paid by Diddy's people.
Exactly, yeah, the Diddy's people. I should be so lucky.
By the way, that comment really made me happy.
Yeah, I got to tell you something. If Diddy's people are out there watching this, which I doubt, we will take money, and I will sit here and I will support Diddy. He's a wonderful man.
All day.
That's right.
All fucking day.
But I'm not going to have sex with him.
Times are hard.
As cute as my white ass may be.
No Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy, no Diddy.
No Diddy, no doubt.
So anyway, yeah, we got more Diddy stuff to do. But again, I believe people need to be accountable for their actions. And that's what really, last week, that was really all we talked about. Like, I think this guy should be in jail forever, without a doubt. I think he's a scumbag. Somebody did say, well, you know, because I gave my whole theory about how, look, man, I don't think that you can sit and willingly give yourself over to this, right? And basically sell your soul to the devil and then be upset when he comes to collect, you know?
That's true.
And that's the way I look at it. And you know, somebody said, well, you got to wait till Lil Rod gets up there. And I'm like, okay. So
Diddy's dealt with Lil Rods before.
And big ones. They're almost all black men, so let's face it, not a lot of Irish in there.
He went from the Tootsie to the Jamba Queen.
You know what I forgot to look at, too? Because my nephew was telling me, he goes, there's some big Scottish guy who is going to testify, and he knows all this dirt on him. I think,
Scottish guy.
Yeah, he was like a fixer or something for Diddy.
Huh.
And but I don't know. I did look into the Little Rod thing, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. I think the first thing we had up was Bono, right?
Yeah.
Was this whole Bono? And this is a quick clip of Bono on Joe Rogan complaining that Donald Trump is responsible for killing 300,000 African children, which is just fucking ridiculous, right? Oh, you don't understand. Oh, this funding got cut off. And Joe Rogan's answer to that was this. And here we go. I got this off of Dave Rubin. I like Dave Rubin, but he's sitting here hawking products and shit like that. You know,
Seriously.
It's kind of his culture, I guess. Anyway, get in trouble for that. Anyway, so here's the thing. This is Bono, who's the biggest douche in the world. I mean, come on. This guy is such a douchebag. And I got to be honest with you, and here we'll get people really pissed off. One of the most overrated bands in the history of rock and roll. I knew rock was dead when they told me that U2 was the greatest thing that was in rock and roll at the time. And that was like 1982, 83. Joshua Tree was a good album. It was all right, you know.
They have some songs. That's about it.
They do. They have a half a dozen songs that I really like. And the rest of it is just background noise. I mean, it's just... It to me, it's not innovative. It doesn't say a lot, you know, like, okay. Anyway.
I've had better.
Yeah, I've had better. Oh, that was Jim Carrey, right? Liar, liar.
Liar, liar.
I've had better.
I've had better.
Yeah. It was me, okay? Yeah. Great movie. So anyway, here's Bono, Sir Bono, who's so, you know, I'm surprised he's happy that the British left Ireland. That's how pretentious this guy is. He seems perfect for the panty waists that they are. Anyway, well, we're just hitting all the notes today. Here we go.
Just recent report. It's not proven, but there's...
It's not proven. It's not proven. So I'm just going to throw this out here. It's not proven. I'm going to throw it out, yeah.
Enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just...
There's no proof of this, but I'm going to say it anyway, that Donald Trump murdered 300,000 African children by starving them to death. What the fuck? It's not proven, but Bono's an asshole. I'm just going to throw it out there. There's no proof for it. Well, actually, there is.
This cut off, this hard cut
of
USAID.
Yeah.
So there's food
because it's up to America to feed the world. That's our job, right? Yeah.
In
He said there's
boats in
Do the
food-
right thing.
There's food rotting in boats and all this, and he's going to mention these countries. Watch.
There is this will off. This will not, you will not be happy. No
This will
American
jerk you
will,
off. What
but
do you say?
there is, I think it's 50,000 tons of food
50,000
that are
tons of
stored
food.
in.
So we gave them the food, but watch. Now, here's the catch to the food, right? This is why it's rotting.
This is a catch
Yeah,
U2.
yeah, catch you, YouTube. Yeah, okay, you too. You too can be caught by this.
U2.
Yeah,
See South Africa, Dubai,
Right.
and wait for it, Houston,
oh
Texas.
my God, and Houston.
That is rotting.
The showmanship.
Rather than
Right.
going to
And wait for
Gaza,
it.
rather than going to Sudan, because the people who know the codes or for the warehouse are fired. They're gone.
The people who know the codes to get into the warehouses have been fired, and nobody else knows how to get into the warehouse.
Nobody left
But
the
these
key
little-
under the mat.
Right. I said, my boss, we'd love to go into the warehouse, but Joe got fired. He was the only one who had the 4-digit code. You know? Like, how fucking stupid. So all this food is in here and you don't know how to get it out? Is that what you're saying? As I said, tell some MS-13 members that there's a ton of uncut coke in there and 500 12-year-olds who are ready to be sex trafficked. They'll figure it out. Get the fuck out of here, man. Are you fucking crazy?
And so this, I don't know. What do you think?
What do you think? Isn't this reprehensible? Shouldn't we just, like, take Donald Trump out to the yard and just give him a lashing?
What is that? That's not American.
This is a billionaire, by the way. This is a fucking billionaire. Why don't
Bono
you
is
fucking
looking
pay
for
it?
his
Right.
lucky charms.
There you go. Get the fuck out of here. See, he's. I have no proof for this, but there are reports that maybe 300,000 people have died because the U.S. has cut off this ridiculous funding. Right now, here's what Joe Rogan says. Yeah?
Is it?
Well, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Maybe.
This is the problem. The problem is
Maybe the baby should be thrown out. These are the people that love abortion, right? Throw the fucking baby out. Who cares?
Every baby now and then. Doesn't
come
hurt.
Come on. Its mother was poor anyway. Yeah.
Float them right down the river.
Right. It's all the people who say you should murder your children if you can't afford them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
for sure, there have been a lot of organizations that do tremendous good all throughout the world.
Sure.
Also, for sure, it was a money laundering operation.
There you go.
For sure, there
That's
was
it.
no oversight. For sure,
Nothing.
billions of dollars are missing.
Right.
In fact, trillions that are unaccounted for,
Trillions
that
of
were
dollars
sent
missing.
off into various. They don't even.
Into a void with no accountability whatsoever. They were throwing money. They had the one thing with Stacey Abrams in Georgia where she had this company that was going to buy. It was supposed to buy energy efficient appliances for homes in Georgia. $2 billion. $2 billion.
Way to go.
Where? That was, the electric bill was very high this
I promise you, if you give me $2 billion today, I'll pay you back tomorrow.
I'd be glad to. With interest. I'll give you like $2 billion and $1. Yeah. The
Aware because there's no receipts.
nothing.
The way Elon Musk described it, he said if any of this was done by a public
I'm
company,
pointing here, they don't
the
look
company
good
would be delisted
but no,
and
sorry.
the executives
You're
would
good.
be in prison. But in the United States, this is standard.
Right.
When Biden left office, when it was clear that Trump won in the 73 days,
Listen.
they spent $93 billion from the Department of Energy on
Just from
just
the Department
radical
of Energy.
loans, just
Right.
throwing money into places.
Right.
And there's no oversight, no receipts.
Right.
Like the whole thing is, there's a lot of fraud, a lot of money laundering.
And again, I go back to, 50 tons of food, he said, right? Or some, right? 50 tons of food.
Just laying around.
Go get it. Break into the warehouses. Like, how hard can that be? You know it's there? Go get it. It's rot. And how do you know it's rotting if you can't get to it? How do you know? Maybe it's just fine.
I'll be the
Maybe it's
judge
all
of that.
Right, exactly. Maybe it's all refrigerated. Who the fuck knows? There's such corruption and everything all along the way, especially to the places you're trying to send it to. They have stuff that rots on the runways in these countries because the people that we give it to argue about who's going to eat it. Listen, enough. You know, they had Mike
Talk
Pence.
about eating it. What's Diddy doing? I'm joking.
Remember the thing with Mike Pence? Here it was. Hold on. Here. This was just a short clip. It's funny as hell. Here. I think we've even played this before.
Have you? I know you're running for president. You are distracted.
Now this is Mike Pence, who was vice president of the United States under Trump, right? And he had a big falling out with Trump over January 6th and everything. But basically, Mike Pence is this pro-Ukrainian guy who just wants to have endless wars because his buddies are making a ton of money over at McDonnell Douglas and Grumman and all this other bullshit, right? Selling planes and bullets and all this other bullshit, right? For a war that can't be won in the Ukraine. Yeah. And I hate to tell you that, people who support it, but they can't win. And all this is a money grab for these politicians. That's all it is. They're all making a ton of money off this shit. Now listen to what Mike Pence says about Ukraine, right? And I love this shit. And this didn't get nearly the play that it should, because it's not just Mike Pence who feels this way. It's every politician who supports this bullshit, that all of our money goes overseas and all this bullshit. This is it. Play this clip and you'll see this is exactly their mindset.
That the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States.
Right.
And it's visible.
Right.
Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
It's not my concern. I don't give a fuck. We're going to support Ukraine because those billions of dollars, you don't understand, Tucker, I'm getting at least a 3% kickback. It must be. Like, how can you sit there straight face? You want to be president of the United States, and you say, I don't care. It's not my concern how the cities of America are doing. I want more tanks over in Ukraine.
Out of my jurisdiction.
Yeah. Oh, you don't understand. If Ukraine falls, then Poland is next. And they're not even a NATO country. Oh, but they could be. We could make them NATO later. They might, but they're not. Why are we doing this, right? I don't know, right? I have my suspicions as to why this is all so important and why we got to keep flushing billions. It's a Vietnam where our people don't have to die. That's what this is. This is all pretty good for that, right? Vietnam, that was so essential, the domino effect. I remember that shit as a kid, right? I was born in '63, and you would I heard about the domino effect from the time Nixon was running anyway. But the first person to mention it, actually Truman mentioned it when it came to Korea. But John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural address in 1960, talked about the domino effect and not letting Southeast Asia fall and how pivotal Vietnam was. And here's the irony of the whole thing. We got our asses kicked in Vietnam, cost 50,000 poor kids their lives, right? Because rich kids like Bill Clinton and George Bush, they didn't have to go fight that fucking war, right? It was all poor people. And, they talk about black people. Like, I remember Cassius Clay, who changed his name to Muhammad Ali, and he said, I got no problem with those yellow people over here. It's the white people here who keep me down. And he was right. And who did most of the dying over in Vietnam, for fuck's sake? So many black people died. How do you get that kind of a percentage of black casualties? At the time, they're like, black men in this country comprised about 4 or 5% of the fucking country. If they had like 40% or something like that died over in Vietnam. How the fuck did that work? We know how it worked. And here this guy is telling us, hey, look, man, fuck you. Not my concern. And again, most of the cities, who's really getting hurt in the cities? Not his concern. Not people that look like him. That's for fucking sure. You Democrats and Republicans, this is the only thing that they'd agreed on, right? You got Mike Pence and Liz Cheney, right, on board with the whole Democrat machine. How did that work out? And why? Like, you got to ask yourself why. And none of these people give a fuck about the city. None of them. None of them. Fuck it, right? Yeah. Anyway. That wasn't in the intro, was it?
Those people are heroic.
Which ones? Who? The Mike Pences?
Those thieves.
Thieves.
Thieves in the night.
I tell you, it's unbelievable, man. It really is. Okay, so
we covered Joe
Joe
and Bono.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, and here's like again, we can't get it to the warehouse. It's like all that fucking shit. It's just rotten there. Why don't you pay a locksmith? I'd see if a locksmith can get past the fucking key code. They don't have the codes. It's just like you're getting into a fucking nuclear facility. Where the fuck is this food being held that you can't get in? It's all rotting.
It's the first I'm hearing about this.
You can't get into it. How'd you get the warehouses are all locked up like fucking Fort Knox, which apparently is empty, right? They say Biden stole all the gold.
Really?
You didn't hear that?
I don't stay up to date with all this
That was
stuff.
one of the things in the beginning when Trump came into office. They talked about they want to go look and make sure the gold is actually still in Fort Knox. Because, God, nobody's looked in a while. Like, who knows what these people have been pilfering?
Right under your nose.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you won't be needing this.
Yoink.
God.
What is it? Hunter Biden.
Oh, and that's another thing.
There's a lot of crack you could get with them.
Oh, you could buy a lot of crack with that gold.
Crack with gold.
Premium crack. Why, we might be able to move up to meth.
Can you imagine going to a crack dealer with a bar of gold? How much can I get, man? How much do you have on you?
Oh, God.
I'll take it all, including your girls.
Here we go.
You want to go to Angel?
Oh, I love Angel, man. You know
Angel
that.
is a nice, like, palate cleanse.
Palate cleanse. Here's the one that, this is...
oh, wait. Hold on. Let me switch you.
It's Angel Reese gets dragged by her own... But I want to do... Hold on. Before we do this, I want to do the...
What do you want to do?
Which is just the Charles Barkley cut. What the hell? Oh, no, that's...
What did Charles
wrong.
Barkley do?
Hold on. I didn't watch it.
Aside from hating on the Knicks.
Well, he didn't hate on the Knicks. He just told the truth about them. There's a difference.
I don't care. I don't want to hear it.
What do you say? Ask him how he feels about Caitlin Clark now, that fucking cracker bitch.
Fuck that bitch. Stay in Indiana if you know it's good for you.
She had the nerve to root for the winning team.
I'll fucking pay $300 to go to a Liberty game just to jump her. Allegedly.
Easy now.
This is joking.
Easy. I did not threaten the president. I did not threaten the ex-president, and I didn't threaten Caitlin Clark.
We all know at this point, everything said in this podcast is off the rails and not real.
Okay, not real. Wow.
There you go. There's our disclaimer. I love you, Caitlin. You're a good player.
But on the other side of that, I believe everything I say, and I say everything I believe. I just believe some
my
really
wild
fucked up
thoughts go to that.
Well, here's Charles Barkley dunking on Angel. Now this was
as
from
a
yesterday.
passionate WNBA fan. I can't believe how the league
real
has handled this
glasses or
season.
those,
It should
joke?
have been a time of celebration.
I think she's so pretty, man.
She's
I love
cute.
that hair.
No, she's cute.
Yeah, you made fun of her eyes because she's got kind of like Marty Feldman eyes.
But see, girls could get away with looking funky.
Yeah,
like you could be fugly and still be hot.
Yeah. I want to climb Mount Angel. I got to tell you, man.
Well, you know that's our goal. I tagged her on Instagram. Maybe she'll reach out. We were kind of shitting on her, but we still love her.
I do. See, I do. He doesn't.
Yeah, she's all right.
Walter doesn't. Walter doesn't care for her.
But I'm not going on a date with her. You are.
I want to take her on a date.
Night in heaven with Angel.
Rush
and I'm not paying for the ticket.
Oh, and I hate driving to Kennedy at rush hours. It's 4 miles from my house. When there's no, like, if it's off hours, I can make it to Kennedy in 15 minutes.
In your life.
She does. You got to pass the ball.
But no, she is. You know what? I told you before.
Well,
I saw a highlight, and she's starting to pass it a little more. I think
well, they're on a roll.
They won. They got
getting
better.
They got a 2-game winning streak. They're 2-4, right? The Chicago Sky.
She has height on her side. All she needs to do is learn how to play a little better.
She needs this talent.
Like she's so clumsy. She's like a baby deer.
Well, she's also she's ball hungry. and that doesn't
she's,
work.
She's star hungry.
Listen,
she wants to be the
right.
star.
If she would go for more assists, she would probably
and the rebounds too. She'll have triple doubles all day. She'll have assists, me-bounds, and points. Because eventually she'll get to 10.
Yeah, she'll get her 10, 12 points a game. She's not getting much more than that now. From last year, I know I was watching her stats have gone way down.
You know what? I call it. Maybe next season she starts averaging a triple-double.
I could see if she begins to pass the ball more, because she gets the ball, and once she's underneath, she just push the ball out to the perimeter. The problem is none of these women can shoot past 15 feet.
But that's where the me-bounds hopefully, rebounds in that case.
Because she's big underneath the net, and she is a physical girl. I mean, she's a big girl. She looked good too.
Her mom taught her well. I'm sure her mom put her in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get them fucking rebounds, girl.
Yeah.
She bought her mother a house. That was nice of her.
Yeah.
Do you love me now, mommy? It really. I watched her podcast too.
Daddy,
Yeah. Oh, isn't child abuse fun? Fun with child abuse.
Oh man.
Anyway, here's Charles Barkley shitting on her.
But instead, the WNBA is making one mistake after another. The league on the brink of its
they act like they're being run by women. God.
She really is like a handsome woman.
Who, Caitlyn?
Yeah, she's her face is like
very
manly.
I thought she was a gay. I really did. Who knows? Maybe she's got a dick.
She's got an interesting body.
And she can shoot from the outside.
She almost has
too.
a body that I wish I had, which is awkward. Fit-wise, because she's tall, but she's fit, very tight.
You're tall and fit.
I'm not fucking fit. I look like a pear if I stand up too long. Gravity gets the best of me.
You're
30, 6 p.m. to 10
what,
p.m.
36 now as well, though. That's what happens.
No, I'm older, but thank you.
From 37?
Older, but thank you.
No,
I'm turning 39.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I lost a couple of years there, Walter.
Well, we've been together for a while.
We've been together. I don't like the way that sounds.
Where's my anniversary gift?
Together.
But yeah, she has
Jesus, has it been that long?
The cubes on her. Like she's got a good.
Oh no, she's
good shape to her.
She works out a lot.
And she put on more muscle for this season.
But who knows, man? Maybe she's really a dude.
That would be some shit. Is it Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah.
Breakthrough is
Maybe
squandering its chance to
face-off.
shine. And at the heart of this mess, Caitlin Clark, Charles Barkley, never one to hold back, has called out the petty jealousy threatening to derail everything. It's hard to believe, right? A league that's growing fast and gaining attention is now caught up in a bitter battle that's pulling its star player down. So, why is the WNBA in chaos? And why are players turning against Caitlin Clark, the very star who's lifting the league to new heights? Let's dig into this drama and uncover the shocking truth. The Indiana Fever's season opener was supposed to be a
just get to the
historic
Charles
moment.
Barkley
The stadium
shit,
was
man.
packed, excitement was
You
in
don't
the
have a
air,
time
and
code?
Caitlin Clark, the hottest rookie in
That
the
could be
league,
something
was
to
ready
look
to
at
make
in
her
the
mark.
future.
But what followed was a
keep it a-
mess. Rumors
keep it a
started
time
swirling
code on
about
you.
fan behavior,
Well, it
with
said something
shocking
about Charles
accusations
Barkley.
about
I don't see
racial
him hearing
slurs
this.
aimed at Chicago Sky's Angel Reese. And as always,
Reese?
Charles Barkley didn't hold back.
There we go.
He blasted the whole situation, calling it petty jealousy that's taking the spotlight away from the game.
It is.
The real problem, instead of spotlighting Caitlin,
But you know
Listen,
what?
but
I
this
think
is
that's
what-
bringing attention to the game.
Right, but this is what women do, too. Listen, why did soap operas take off like they did? It was because of women. Women love watching other people's drama.
This is what's going to make the WNBA what it's going to be. Like, it could move it forward. You have to have, catty fucking fights. It's got to be like a real woman sport. They got to be catty. They got to be like, yeah, that bitch is nice, but her arc is kind of flat.
Listen, that's the way professional wrestling did it, isn't it? Isn't that what professional wrestling does?
Yeah, I guess.
That's drama for guys.
But that's what you need.
Soap operas for men.
That's what you need.
I can't I watched the game. Walter calls me up because it's a fever Sky. Watched a quarter of it. It wasn't quite as bad as I expected it to be, but there are those moments that you just like, holy shit. You know, they take a 20-foot jump shot and miss everything. Like, how do you do that?
It just becomes a celebration when they hit a shot.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. But I'm kind of over the whole Caitlin Clark thing too. Okay, but your team sucks. Like.
Incredible talent and the WNBA's momentum, the league found itself buried in unnecessary drama.
They're 2-4
Charles
as
Barkley
well.
called it out. Media attention was being hijacked by negativity, distracting from the real excitement, the game itself. In response, the WNBA launched an investigation into the situation.
Look at
after
that
extensive
confused
interviews
outfit.
with fans and staff.
I got. I'm waiting to see something fall from underneath the skirt there.
That's such a confusing outfit.
That third leg.
It looks like she took the rest of her jacket, ripped it off, made a skirt out of it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. She's definitely
ripped
not.
the lining out of the inside of the jacket and then wrapped it around her as a shirt.
But don't you expect to see like the third leg coming down there, a big shadow?
Like a little slip. You get a head.
What do they call it? Fully functional trans woman.
I'm sure if Caitlin Clark did have one, she'd probably be packing. She's tall, no?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Yeah.
I call her at least average or a little above average. If
She's
she had
like
a cock.
6'2", right?
If she had a cock, I mean.
I guess. Walter used to want to join the Navy, so I guess this is a preoccupation for him. The Adventures of Soap on a Rope. Yeah. Man. Don't drop the soap.
Try not to.
Yeah.
They found no evidence to support the accusations, but rather than clearing the air and apologizing to the Indiana Fever and their fans, the league let the false narrative linger.
That was the one where Angel claimed that she was called racial slurs by people at the Indiana game, which is all bullshit. It was all bullshit, man. Nobody said anything.
I'm sure maybe somebody did.
Nah,
you have to find at least one person.
Let me ask you something. Who goes to a fucking WNBA game? Do you think there's any like hardcore racists that are going to be? Yeah, like there's a Klan rally, right? Okay, everybody gather around. We want everybody to know there are tickets. Old Jed over there has tickets for next week's WNBA game. It's going to be a lot of just before the game. It's going to be great. We're going to have a barbecue. Then we're going to go to the WNBA game.
All right, so Peggy, you're in charge of the banner.
Right.
Make sure you put a little sparkle on the angel.
Marge is going to make that great fondue that she's famous for. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to tell that angel Reese what we really think of her. Yeah, I don't.
Stacy, bring the cutlets.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Maybe it's, but they did a full investigation of
they did a full investigation.
They interviewed like all the people because apparently everybody in the section that Angel had pointed.
That's
to
how
whatever.
Tiny the audience is.
Right. Yeah. All 18.
They line them up outside.
All 18 of you must stay behind.
You have detention for coming to WNBA games.
That'll teach you. Yeah. They may not have used a racial slur, but the fact that you were here makes it all questionable.
Seriously.
So anyway, but that was just kind of bullshit. And like you said, nobody apologized to the fans of Indiana, finding out that it was all bullshit. And Angel, honey, you don't need to do that. Pass the ball. All your problems will be solved if you start passing the ball. It will, which apparently she's starting to do. I think her assists went way up this week. Like I said, they're on a winning streak. Chicago's won their last 2 games, right? Let me see. Where do I have it? Right here. Here's the this is just pathetic, man. Well, they have like 10 teams, right? There's the Sky. They've won their last 2. They're 2-4. It's early into the season, too. They're not doing very well on the road. Look at the Liberty, though, right? There's a New York hometown. Yeah, here we go. Maybe we should get Liberty hats. You know they don't make any fitted caps in the WNBA stuff? Nothing. Who'd want it, right?
That's because they expect bitches' heads to grow bigger.
Yeah, well, fitted hats are best thing. No, men aren't watching this shit anyway. I don't know what lesbians wear, so visors. A lot of visors. Rosie O'Donnell's got her Liberty visor.
I imagine there would be some flannel involved.
All flannel visors. Yeah. That's funny. And the Lynx. Oh, that made me laugh too. The Lynx, Minnesota Lynx, as opposed to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, they're doing well. They're 7-0, right? But again, I think the two teams that get the most press and everything are two of the worst teams in the league. They're a combined 4-8. You know, and get off to a horrible start. The Fever lost their last 3 games. You know, they're not doing very well. So anyway, that's it, and that's that.
That's our WNBA moment.
That's our WNBA moment. And we got to do our guy though, right? What's his name again?
I thought it was Stat Stuffer.
Yeah.
Stat something.
No, it's Stat Stuffer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good guess.
And he's great, man. I love his shit. Where is it? Come on. Because he always puts out a new one every week.
Endless content.
Poor Angel. Yeah, she's. You gotta hand it to her though. She does try. Yeah.
Angel Reese, part 37. Let's get it.
She had the worst first quarter in human history. Started off with 3 in the key. How about it?
Bang! No, Shaggy, don't forget the butter with the corn of the cob.
Did you say butter? Cause butter pecan. Bang! He's shooting 31% this year as a big man. When all your shots are layups. That's sad. Here we go. Bang! Rebound. One more time. Bang! After last night's historical performance, she is now number 2 in turnovers in the W. Bang! I didn't know she could dunk like that. Bang! I've never seen a player get blocked as much as she does. She can't even jump over a credit card. Yeah, the credit card to get the Me-Bow merch. Bang! By the way, this is still the first quarter from the same game. Bang! New quarter now, new Angel. Let's see if the fortunes change. No! Bang! Number 1 when she's calling for the ball. Don't give it to her. Bang! She got 2 more me-bounds in this game. She's still at 50% me-bound rate. How about it? Bang!
Oh, she angry now.
I just love how she dribbles, man. She just brings that ball neck high, and she's a really tight handle. She's a really good passer and a playmaker. Bang!
Angel Reese, part 36.
Oh God, that's funny.
Angel Reese, part 36. Let's get it.
Another day, another 3 me-bounds for our me-bounding queen. Now 50% me-bound rate. How about it? Oh, she's learning to pass now, huh?
Bang!
Fastest to
See, I'm
500
telling you, that would be
rebounds
that's
in
her thing
WNBA
right there.
history. I wonder why.
Like she doesn't even think to look around her.
These announcers are hilarious. They're like, she's learning not to get swatted 3 times in a row. Now it's only twice.
He's a pro basketball player, not a Make-A-Wish kid.
By the way, this is called a foul. I don't know about
Angel.
Oh, sorry.
Angel Reese, part 36.
That's enough of that. Yo, he's funny, man. That guy is fucking funny. And that's Stat Stuffer. And you can find his stuff there, and it's worth it. And I always like, when I see people's videos that I like, and I ask you to do the same. If you like it at all, just push the thumbs up. And if you don't, push the thumbs down, because that helps too. You know, people, it gets you noticed. Like, you know, any press is good press is what they say. That's us. When's our next video coming out, Walter? Tomorrow. It's funny too. It's funny. It's good. There's a trans dad, a 15-year-old trans dad. It's priceless. It's priceless. Gotta watch it. Okay, where's my playlist?
Yeah, we have fun on that one.
Okay, that's just more trashing. This is humility. She's no Caitlin Clark.
So we have Diddy didn't do it.
Diddy didn't do it. Okay, and that's the little rod. Okay, now this is something. Now, as this is my theory to my nephew, and he's not a Diddy fan. He's a Ye fan actually. Ye, yay. Anyway, so somebody commented when Ye said that Diddy was going to walk, I knew he was guilty. Like, I knew it was going to go downhill. So I'm explaining, like, and it is, and I started saying it before here. You know, like, you have this guy, and he is a piece of shit, like, without a doubt. He's brutal. He's a tyrant. He's angry. He's violent. He's makes people do. There we go. There. Yeah. Legal blackface. That's what that is. Legal black. Dude, you look like some fucking retarded kid. Like some fucking. The one eye is down here. It looks like. Remember that? What was it? The Goonies. The fucked up guy. You look like. Yeah, you look like the black version of Sloth. Anyway, oh God, I forgot what I was saying. Lil Rod, yeah. So anyway, he's not a good guy. Like somebody I wasted my time on this. This is like a Diddy channel.
Free Diddy.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not promoting Diddy at all. And I hope he goes to jail. But the thing is you got to lock people up for the right things. You can't lock people up because you disagree with their lifestyle. And this whole thing, like Harvey Weinstein but Bill Cosby, there's another one. Like these are people like people don't take the whole thing into account. What I want to know is what do you do with people who offer sex? Like shouldn't it be just as illegal to offer somebody sex as to ask somebody for sex? Because where's the line, right? And this was the point that I was trying to make last week. Like with Diddy, all right, you have these people who willingly gave their body up to Diddy, and they don't deny that. But basically what it was when they got enough from him, they figured it should stop. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. That's what he gets out of it, is he gets to fuck you anytime he wants, right? But once you got what you wanted and you thought you were beyond that and you were too big for that now, you figured you could just stop it. It don't work that way.
Bitch thought she was beyond meat or something.
Yeah. Listen, you make a deal with the devil. Again, you make a deal with the devil. You can't complain when he comes to collect. And that's what it was. You make this deal. And there's no accounting in any of this. There's no accounting for human avarice. And Harvey Weinstein was the same. The guy was a fucking pig. He's where he belongs. He's in jail. Yeah, okay. All well and good. But what about the women who came out to Harvey? What kind of a woman do you have to be to do that? Or guy, whatever. Whatever you're into.
Do you got eyes?
It's fucking Harvey Weinstein. And how many women do you think offered him a blowjob or a piece of ass to get a role?
I call it blind aspiration.
Well, there you go. Listen, people have options, and that's what this is about. Like, he's a powerful man. You have no option. Yeah, you do. You do. Walk away. I'm gonna go work at Walmart, right? Like the rest of America does.
Excuse me.
Right? Exactly. Listen, this is what I did for a living for 25 fucking years, right? I was part of CWA 1105, 1109, 1106, right? Those were my locals that I worked in at one time or another. Doing what? Climbing fucking telephone poles, going down into the basements in the projects with roaches crawling up my hands and my legs and rats running across my feet. Like, this is what I did. And why? To put food on the table, right? I make a living. We all do this. No premium cocaine. A lot of cocaine, actually. I did a lot of cocaine, but it's a different story. I had to pay for it. No sex with gorgeous people.
Cassie's getting like top-notch drugs,
dude, and that flying all over the world, first class, and Lear jets and shit like this. Listen, there was a pay for that. And that's the point I was trying to make, is where is the accountability for the people who willingly participated in this? And so far from what I can tell, most of them did. Now, my nephew's like, you got to wait till Little Rod gets up there and he's going to talk about it. But I got to be honest with you, the way it sounds, because Diddy's a pig right from the jump, right? This guy lived with Diddy lived with him. In New York, Los Angeles, and Miami, in those places, right? Lil Rod lived with Diddy. You can't tell me that it didn't at least start consensually. And then eventually it got to be too much, and he wasn't getting paid. And that was what the cutoff was. And I think more than anything else, that's what pissed him off. But eventually, look, it's tough. It's tough to complain after the fact. But so far, anyway, now they say that Lil Rod, that he's got video, that Diddy got off on having him video everything, right? Which is, it's going to be part of his downfall. But until you see the video, it's just hearsay, right? He says, I say a lot of shit, Until you see it, it doesn't exist, And so far, all they've proven is that Diddy is a piece of shit, okay? And having sex among adults is not illegal. He drugged people. He drugged people who were there to do drugs. It's hard to say otherwise. Now, when you start bringing underage people, then now you're talking about statutory rape. You're talking about sex trafficking and shit like this. But hiring hookers for a party, if that's illegal, then just about every bachelor party in Vegas is up for sex trafficking, right? Because that's what it is. And by the way, in Vegas, prostitution is illegal. It's not it's legal outside of the area, but you can't hook inside of Vegas. Tell that to the hookers. You know, because it's technically illegal. So people hire hookers all the time. It's called the world's oldest profession, and it was around a long time before Diddy. And you know what was also around a long time before Diddy is women offering sex to get shit, to get money, especially. Like to sit here and say, "Oh, this is a Diddy." It's not. But how about the women? How about have you seen did you see Cassie when she was that age?
Gotta blame Eve.
Hold on. Oh, please. Bitch ate the apple, right? Because some snake, some long cock told her to do it. Yeah. Hold on. Here, Cassie Ventura, young. All right, let's look at this. I want to show this girl, right? And part of the problem that people have is that when you look at Cassie, like you can see that, right, Walter? Mm-hmm. When you look at Cassie, and that's a great picture of her, right? Now, what is she there? Probably 16, 17 years old. That fucking girl is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I mean, she's just an absolute natural beauty, okay? And what you can't picture, that's her a little bit older, right? No, she's still beautiful, though. She's 30. I think she's 38 or 39 now.
She's
going on her fourth kid. Yeah, she's your age. She's old. Yeah, like you.
I look better than her.
Dude, she's absolutely
she's a pretty girl.
There, that's a perfect picture of her, right? This girl is, to me, I mean, that's my type right there. That's my type right there.
She seems like a prototype.
Yeah, she's beautiful, man. She's beautiful. And how many guys now? If this girl said, "Hey, look, I'll give you whatever you want," how many guys are going to say no to that? And once you get that, this is the old joke, right, that I always loved, is a guy says to the beautiful girl, "I'll give you $1 million if you let me fuck you." And she thinks she says, $1 million. Okay, I'll do it. And he says, "How about 100?" And she says, "Well, what do you think I am?" He says, "Well, we already know what you are, and now we're just establishing the price." Here it is. Like, we already know what you are. Like, she had no talent. She had no talent. She's got no hits. She's got none of that shit, right? She's a multimillionaire who the only talent this girl had, apparently, was on her back. That was her greatest talent. Aww. And she used that asset to her advantage. And I'm not blaming her for it. If I looked like that, I wouldn't be fucking Walter. You know what I mean? Like,
she was an artist trying to shoot her shot.
That's it.
She got that one single, and then after that, in front of her head.
Listen, she could have either been a mediocre talent, right, who would have made no money, some flash in the pan, like, who was that girl, Tiffany or something like that? She used to sing in malls and shit like that. She had as a teen, right?
Tiffany from like the 80s or something?
Yeah. You remember that, right?
Yeah. Okay. If I see the song, I'll know it.
Yeah. Well, she could have been that, or she could have been Cassie, the hot chick fucking Diddy, traveling all over the world in Lear jets, summering on the French Riviera, snorting the finest cocaine, fucking the most beautiful people, living in mansions all over the world.
And I think regardless, she looked good enough to where she was going to bag a millionaire.
Well, that's it.
Regardless.
Listen, it's either that or go work at McDonald's and blow the fucking night manager for a better shift. I think it's
the shitty millionaire billionaire.
It's it. Come on, man. And again, I'm not knocking her. But she's also got to be accountable for this. Beyonce, there's talent, and who knows?
You think she deserved the money?
Who, Cassie? I'd give her the money looking like. If that girl fucked me, I'd give her the money. But
no, I mean the money that she was rewarded, like the 30 mils allegedly. You think she deserved it?
Sure.
Yeah,
why not?
So.
For fucking him for all those years? Sure. Why not? Why not?
I think
it's a going away gift. Yeah, why not?
No, I agree.
Listen, he's a billionaire. Fuck it, give her $30 million. Who the fuck? Listen, Paul McCartney fucked that girl for 3 years. She wanted $500 million. That's some piece of ass. She walked away with $100 million.
She deserved to get stuffed in the yellow submarine.
Listen, and she was a one-legged ugly bitch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
His wife, right?
She had a kid. With the difference is that she had a
bitch.
kid. She had a kid by Paul McCartney.
He could have literally ran away from her.
I'll give it all to you if you can beat me in a foot race.
I'll meet you at IHOP, you fucking bitch.
You know what her name is Eileen. You know what they call her in Japan, right? Irene. Yeah, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. But that's the thing. And there are text messages showing that she was like, "Oh, I can't wait till you put a baby in me." Between her and Diddy, right? This is the most abusive man in the world. Yeah. But she would have had his kid, you know? And why not?
Drugs make you do some crazy shit too.
Look, women are scandalous. And to say, remember Anthony Mason? Remember the Anthony Mason? He was accused of graping this girl, right? It turns out she was 13 years old. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
So here
it wasn't real, right? It was fake.
Oh, it was. Well, the sex was real. He really did have sex with. Hold on a second.
I remember him getting into trouble for that.
He didn't, though. Yeah, we try to hide this. I don't know. Maybe they don't have it. Nah, I liked Anthony Mason too. He's right here he was from Springfield Gardens. I don't see anything here about it. But anyway, this girl had accused him of graping her, essay, right? And I was a virgin and you know. And then her mother got on, and these were like, you talk about ghetto, man. And the mother's like, "Oh, my poor baby. Oh my God, I can't believe he did this to her," and all this other bullshit, right? Turns out he did ask her for ID. So she showed ID that said she was 25 years old, right? Good ID, 25 years old.
Met her at the club or something,
right. And they went out. He didn't deny any of this stuff, right? She said she was 25. This girl, and he took her virginity in this essay and blah, 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 blah. Turns out she'd had 3 abortions. You know?
Damn.
She was 13.
She had 3 abortions by 13?
3 abortions, yeah.
Wow.
And Mama was in on all of it, and they had pressed men for money in all of these cases. See, so like women will do this shit. I remember Jose Mesa too when he was with the Cleveland Indians. Big back page, Jose Mesa accused of SA, blah 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 blah. You know, turns out that, again, the girl had accused like 4 or 5 different baseball players of this. Like people in those positions are definitely targets for these women, right? You know, it's undeniable that they are targets. A lot of these guys, especially the sports athletes, some of these guys are so fucking ugly. Like they're not used to getting women like this, and all of a sudden they're all over the place. You know, Bill Burr talks about that with Tiger Woods. Like you can't relate to what these people are going through. You know, and it's scandalous. Now, with Jose Mesa, when he was found not guilty, when they threw it out of court because it was just so ridiculous, this girl was pushing him for money. She wanted $1 million and said, I dropped the charge. He said, "No, I didn't do any. Like, there was nothing there." She had accused like 2 or 3 other guys of the same exact thing. And where did they put, and this is when, you know, Jose Mesa pitched back in the 90s, so we got newspapers back then. And there it was on page 42, this little thing, "Oh, by the way, he didn't do it." You know? It's tarnished his whole reputation and everything. And same thing happened with Darryl Boston and Dwight Gooden, and there was one other, it may have been Darryl Strawberry or whatever, where a girl accused them of the same thing. And they're like, she was at a party. It was a party, and you know, and she was basically the party favor. And you know, women don't do that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I was married to one. She was a pig. She used to brag about the fact that she could take 6 guys in a night. Like, yeah.
At
there are
once?
women. Yeah, at one time. Yeah. Yeah. That was like her,
3 holes?
Well, yeah.
Or just
there
like
was some waiting.
or
I
taking
would imagine.
turns.
Now, I because we were together and I was in love with her, I didn't ask for a lot of detail.
Because I would assume that she could handle.
Walter's brain is going now.
I would assume she could handle up to.
But they take
No,
turns.
she could
on
take
her.
6.
Dude, they take turns.
But she could have taken 6. You got the
Use her
behind,
feet.
you got the front, you got a foot job, you got 2 hand jobs.
Yeah.
And you got
2 hand jobs.
and then you got the mouth.
Yeah, but she was a pig, though.
So the max
But
limit for a female
and
is
I told
6.
you this the last time that
At
I
one.
would, she's in a bathtub filled with piss and cum and shit on me, and I'm like, oh god. All right.
Did you have to go?
It was a moment of clarity for me.
Was it a moment where
it
you
was-
felt you had to go?
No, if anything, it made me constipated. And it was just, you have those moments in your life, like where it dawns, and you look at yourself and you go, what the fuck am I involved in here?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck am I doing? And like this
Some
is
people
this,
call that the epiphany.
the epiphany moment, and that's exactly what it is. It's just like, and you look down at this thing laying in the tub, go shit on me, and you're like,
Where is my life gone?
I'm married. Like, I'm married.
I buried a toilet.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Listening to her talk about fucking 6 guys should have been enough to really clue you in, right? I was young and it was really good sex. I have to be honest with you.
It must have been.
Listen, I've hired women all over the world. Like better than anything I've ever paid for. Better than anything I've ever been able to. Yeah. It was remarkable. It really was. It really was. It was worth it was almost worth the heartache that came along with it. Almost.
But not quite.
Not quite. No, there was a lot of heartache that came with that, man. But yeah. So anyway,
last thing we got set up for the title at least is the election meltdown.
Well, yeah, that's just a clip we're gonna play. I don't know what time is it anyway. I keep looking for my clock. Used to be right there.
It
fell
20-2.
I got to put it back up.
We got some time. I don't know if you have anything in mind.
Plenty of. Did we really run through everything that we had listed there?
Yeah, about an hour.
That was quick.
Yeah. But that's good. We're not dwelling on shit for too long.
Nah, there's no point.
See, we have behind the scenes
If
conversations
I could,
in the middle of the podcast.
If I could just do that in my life, it would just be so. Just not dwell on it for too long. Instead of obsessing, I'm still finishing conversations arguments that I had 23 years ago. Like I still sitting in the shower, go, "Yeah, bitch, that's right. You're fucking wrong, aren't you? Yeah." The hell are you talking about? Some shit that happened 23 years ago.
Mind your fucking business
Right.
before I get back to you.
You don't
want to
get into this. You don't want to get in the middle of this.
I'll see you in 20 years, motherfucker.
Don't you go dying on me. Yeah, shit. Yeah, it's true. And Anthony's dead, too. Anthony died.
Mr. Mason.
Yeah.
I liked Mason.
Best 6-man in the game. He won the award a couple of times. But he was a force to be reckoned with. I saw him and Patrick Ewing walking down 57th Street once.
You told me this.
Yeah, they took up, in the city, like in Manhattan, the sidewalks are really wide. They're like 6 feet wide.
And
at
somehow
least.
still crowded.
These 2 guys walking down took up the whole fucking sidewalk. They were shoulder to shoulder. They were huge, man. It was unbelievable. It was quite the sight. Yeah. I tell you, the first time I went to a game, my father had a lawyer friend, Sam Weiner was his name, and he had season tickets to the Knicks, and he used to give us the preseason games. He didn't go to a lot of preseason games.
Fuck it, I'd go.
Yeah, and he used to give them to my dad. And I told you that once the first time I got mugged at gunpoint was outside of Madison Square Garden, and I was, I guess, about 14 years old. My father dropped us off. He dropped my brother and I off in front of the Garden, and my little brother. And so my little brother he couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old. My brother Tommy, and he dropped us off. We got out of the car, and I'm got out of this suede jacket It's like the only nice jacket I ever had as a kid. And this cheap little camera around my neck, right? I'm feeling it. I got my Nick tickets and everything. And this guy comes up. I got a gun. He had a glove over his hand. He says, I got a gun. Now, my father just dropped me off. And there's no cell phones or anything. We're talking, I was 14, so we're talking it's 1977. Yeah, you know, there's no way for me to contact my father. Him and my mother were going to dinner. They were going to have dinner, and he was going to listen to the game on the radio. And when the game was over, he'd come back to 8th Avenue and wherever we were going to meet, right? Whatever, 38th Street or whatever. There was a place called Horn and Hard Art. You remember that?
No.
It was, what do they call it? I forget the name. It's like they used to vend things. It was famous. It was right across from the Garden, the Horn and Hard Art. And this guy, we're going into the game now. And if I give this guy the tickets and whatever little money, I think my father may have gave me like $5 for to get sodas during the game. You could do that back then, $5, you know, because I know they didn't have much. And anyway, he says, I got a gun, and if you don't, I'm gonna shoot you if you don't give me the tickets and the camera. The fucking camera can't. Anyway,
It's on the camera.
yeah.
I need that camera.
Yeah, I looked at him and I knew, I was like, there's no way this guy has a fucking gun. He's got his glove, like he pulled the glove out to make it look like there was. And I'm like, okay, I'm not giving you anything, and I'm gonna walk away. And I remember I put my little, I told him, I'll fuck you off. You know, I can't. I said, I can't. What the fuck am I gonna do?
I probably would have done the same thing.
I put my little brother in front of me so that when we walked away, in my head, like if he shoots, he's gonna shoot me. You know, at least I protect my little brother. And I walked in and I had to walk away, you know, and I did. But when I came out, he was out there waiting for me. And he says, now I got a gun for real. Because I told him, I said, you don't have a gun. And it was like an argument. It was like the Woody Allen, you know, when he goes into the bank and take the money and run.
Oh, I was thinking of my cousin Vinny. You got the money? Fan it out. Let me see.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just Woody Allen. I know you didn't see it because you don't watch good movies.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Walter has 5,000 movies,
I
but
do
he
have
only
it.
watches shitty movies. What's the movie you watched twice? Furries or something? Some shit like that. What was it?
Furries.
I don't know, some bullshit fucking movie that you saw. I've seen that one twice, but you've never seen Take the Money and Run. Anyway, in Take the Money and Run, he goes in to rob a bank and he hands them a note. And the teller looks at it, goes, and she says, put all the money in the sack. I have a gub. He says, no, it's not gub, it's gun. No, it clearly says gub. I have a gub. And she calls over the manager. He's like, well, it says gub. What's a gub? You know, like, and this whole thing. And I said, I don't think you have a gun. I don't believe you. So I walk away. And after the game, he's standing out there again. He says, this time I have a gun. I said, well, let me see it. Nothing. And he goes, give me the fuck. Wants whatever little money. And we didn't have it. I had no money at this point. Like the $5 I had, I bought 2 sodas and probably an ice cream for my little brother. And I go into Horn and Hard Art, and there's this old lady there. She's standing there, and nobody, like people could see, like nobody wanted to help except this one old lady. And she's got a little, she's like batting at this black kid, right? Like, you get away from him. They're good boys. You get away. You're bad. Go back uptown, she's telling him.
Jesus.
And then my father pulled up, and the guy ran off when my dad pulled up. Because my dad, he wasn't well.
We later discovered this was Reggie Miller's father.
That son of a bitch. Don't you love Reggie Miller, though? And tell me, isn't he such a wonderful young man? Let's talk about the Knicks for a little bit.
Nah.
Can we do that? Hold on.
Come on, that's over with. Old news.
Is it? Is
Yeah,
it really?
This is old news. I don't even want to give them any more attention.
Who? The Knicks or the Pacers?
The Pacers, the finals, the whole NBA playoffs.
You don't want to watch the highlights from Game 6?
I don't want to get copyrighted.
Oh, copyright. Yeah, that's Walter's concern.
Well, that's my excuse. That makes sense.
How much would it hurt to see them sweep Oklahoma?
I mean, I don't know. I fucking hate the fucking thing.
Knicks are just a bottom bitch, aren't they?
Knicks are just like chickens with their head cut off.
What do you think they need?
They need a bench for sure.
But like one thing I'd say about Indiana, like everybody wants to knock the Knick defense in this, right? And I honestly think that the defense was. How do you defend against 3 or 4 guys who can shoot from the perimeter like Indiana?
Yeah,
has?
they got nothing but shooters, and they fucking shoot from the other side of the court.
It's like you can see, like, look, okay, so you protect the perimeter, and then you're vulnerable inside, you know. And unlike the Knicks, who were throwing up these bricks, and that's one thing. Like Towns just kept throwing it up there, and I'm like, anyway.
And then Towns plays no defense.
Nah.
Mitchell Robinson really stepped it up.
Yeah, I like Mitchell Robinson.
I think they should fucking get Towns to come off the bench.
But you've paying him $50 million a year.
No. We're starting Towns. But Robinson is a good energy off the bench unless they start him. But I think they start Anunoby with Towns. But they need someone else.
Another one. They just signed Anunoby to a huge contract.
They need Robinson and somebody else that could replace Towns and Anunoby.
Well, they need another perimeter shooter too. Yeah. I mean, you look at like we talk about the great Bulls teams, right? They had Paxson and Kerr.
Well, look at OKC.
Outside. Yeah,
OKC is a strong team.
Bet was if they lost in game 5, he owed me breakfast. If they lost in game 7. Then I owed him.
But what did I say?
Game 6, if it was game 6, though, it was a wash.
But what did I say?
I don't know what you said.
We could rewind it on the live.
No, I believe you if you say. You don't lie about that shit.
You turned around, you said they're going to lose game 5. And I said, no, they're going to take it game 7 because I was using my blind faith.
Yeah.
But then as a side note, as like a realistic person, I said the Knicks are going to take game 5. They're losing game 6.
Yeah.
I just know it. I know the fucking Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks had it in their
He knows the Knicks like I know my first wife.
They had we'll try it and do our thing, but we'll rest a little bit this game. And then they went back to Indiana and planned on beating them in Indiana.
The guy I would love to see as a Knick is Siakam. That kid can play, man. He's not a kid anymore.
Yeah, anywhere else, I hope he fucking trips and falls into a well.
Yeah. But he's
on the Knicks. I love him.
I like this kid, man.
He's a great player.
I did last year. He killed them last year too, man.
Indiana's a good team. I don't like them, but they're a good team.
I hate Halliburton.
Halliburton's a cocksucker.
That kid is a fucking jerk off.
He's such a little
dick.
cock.
He's a dick, man. We can agree on this. And look,
he's a Reggie Miller. He's just a douchebag.
Oh, you know another one, and I love to see this kid suffer, and I don't know why. Is Juan Soto? Have you seen what Juan Soto's doing with the Mets?
I don't keep up with baseball.
You know Juan Soto, though, right? You heard of one? All right. They signed Juan Soto.
I went to a game, and I still don't know.
Juan Soto played for the Yankees last year. Had a great year with the Yankees. The Yankees offered him a boatload of cash, and he signed with the Mets. And he claims he wanted to sign with the Mets all along. Mm-hmm. And I told people, I said, I don't see what's so great about this kid. He's a good ball player. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But he had deficiencies that I saw. And number one is he didn't hit for a lot of power until last year. Now, last year he did. He hit 41 home runs. The year before that he had 35. And they said, well, he's still young. By the time he was 26, Mike Trout already had like 2 MVPs, right? Ken Griffey Jr. is another one. You know, when you look at kids who came up at 19 years old, like there's a body of work. Great. It's good. It's not great, you know? He's a 282 hitter. He has a 417 lifetime on-base percentage. It's very good. It's very over 400. Very good, right? And I said, he's a Met now. And they said, well, what do you think he's going to do? I said, he's going to hit 230. This was it. I said, and I was like half joking, right? Well, I wasn't half joking. I was joking. He's going to hit 237. He's going to have 14 home runs and 58 RBIs. He's going to suck. He's Met now. And here he is.
What happened?
Dude, here's his contract, right? I'll show it. Let's put this up. Here's his contract, right? And you got to love this. Now, here he is right here. They are paying this fucking kid. Look at this, man. $51.875 million a year. $1 million. And I got to tell you, right now, and now we're what? We're into June, so April, May. You're coming up on 3 months into the season, and this kid is hitting 234. with a 364 on base percentage, right? This kid has an over 400 lifetime. He's 364 on base percentage. He just hit 2 home runs against the worst team in the major league. So it's the Colorado Rockies, who shouldn't even have a team. At this point, they wouldn't even be a good AAA team, this team. So he's got 10 home runs and 28 RBIs. So he is on pace to have the year that I thought he would. He might have a few more home runs than I predicted. But if he keeps this up, that's what he's going to. He'll be lucky to have 120 hits. And it's just, and all of that money. And people kept telling me, oh, he's so good. And I'm like, maybe it's me. He doesn't knock in a lot of runs, right? He's been in the pros. This is his 8th season. And he's had 3 of those seasons where he's knocked in 100 or Aaron Judge on top of it, right? One of the best hitters in the game today. And I'm just saying that this is hysterical. But the Mets are winning, so that's all anybody cares about. And it kind of helps.
He needs to learn that fucking guard.
He's good. Is he great? No. Is he worth $50
He's a
million
pretty
a
great shooter, I think.
Okay.
But for his size,
they're giving this kid prime Steph Curry money.
I mean, he's shooting shots, Steph Curry distance, but he's just not. He's a big body for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, his 7 feet is wasted on
That's
him.
what bothers me the most.
Yeah.
Offense,
he doesn't
he's
muscle
fine.
the boards. He doesn't, he's not.
That's why
getting in there.
Robinson steps it up. Even Anunoby steps it up.
I like
defense.
Anunoby. I like him. I think he's a physical kid, and I think that the Knicks. See, I thought the Knicks needed to be more physical. They needed to slow it down against Indiana and be more physical.
Seemed like he wasn't feeling it sometimes. It was just like. But
it was
they
the
were
pink
also,
shoes.
But I think it was also they were pressing him a lot more. Like they were kind of forcing Brunson to give it up. But their defense like held up. So
And
when
they
they pressured Brunson, they actually like even if the guy was open, he was open for a second.
Yeah.
And they switched up and they got to the
Listen, Indiana played a really good series, but I thought the Knicks are a much bigger team. I thought they needed to be more physical. Just really batter them. And they took stupid, that's another thing Towns
They
does.
were taking
stupid fouls, man. No, the fouls.
Oh, the fouls, yeah.
Fucking Towns took some. There was the one in game 4, with 2 seconds left in the half, and fucking Towns takes a foul. And I'm, for what? It was one of the dumbest things. And you send the guy to the line, and the shot he never would have made. It was ridiculous. And that was it, and it's hard to play when you're constantly in foul trouble.
Yeah.
You go into the second half with 4 fouls already. You're fucked. You're fucked, man. And you can't be physical when you have that amount of fouls on you.
Yeah.
And you got to take smart fouls. And Indiana, I don't think was ever really in much foul trouble. And you can only blame so much on the refs.
Bench.
Well, yeah, because when you're using 10 guys instead of 6 or 7,
your rotation is better. You're not going to.
And the Knicks
feel
didn't
the
start
fouls
using
as much.
their bench until game 3, really. Game 3, game 4.
They used their bench when they knew it was over. Put the white kid in.
That white kid wasn't named McConnell, right?
He's not bad.
Indiana.
Not him. Fuck him.
That kid
talking
was,
about the white
he was
kid
everywhere.
from the
I'm like, how much Adderall is this guy snorting between the fucking quarters, Gotta understand, man. I gotta get undressed in front of these black guys.
That's the toughest part of going to work.
They get to see all my deficiencies. He's got that Irish name too. That don't help, yeah. Poor guy. Give him the ball. God knows.
Oh, I got
Easy.
cramp.
Don't die on me, Walter. Don't die on me.
I don't know how to stream by myself.
That's it. Yeah, I'd be fucked. I would. It would all be over. Nah, but this, I look at this and I don't get it with this guy. And that's a lot of them. And I say, you're going to give this kid all this money. And he's, to me, an unproven talent. And people think I'm crazy for that. But I say, okay, he's got a lot of walks, again, but he can't run. He doesn't knock a lot of runs in, and but people tell me baseball's changed. They tell me, RBIs aren't. I wish one guy says RBIs aren't important. Batting average isn't important. It's all about home runs now, and it's kind of like the NBA. Like in the NBA, There's no working the ball in anymore. And you see that in the game, right? It's all about perimeter shooting now. And that's all these kids want to do. It's like all the glory. You know, did you ever see the one with Harden, like the worst defense, James Harden? Like the guy he didn't play defense.
No.
Did you ever you ever watch that James Harden defense?
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
He literally stands there.
Yeah.
He'll let you blow right by you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the clip.
Number 5, James Harden's defense. Sit
Watch
back
this,
and watch this glorious montage.
Oh my God! Come on, James. You better than that.
Yeah, but he can shoot.
Oh my
Look,
goodness!
he doesn't even go for the rebound.
Come on, man. Nah, he's back on.
Is it time for me to shoot yet?
Oh my goodness!
Did he put his hands up?
Knock it off. Knock it off.
That's crazy.
Knock it off. Come on. No, it can't be more.
Otto Porter.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Horrible.
raise your hand. Oh man. Where is he? Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
And he didn't think anything of it. Like, so what? So I don't play defense. Big deal. Look how I shoot. And that's a lot of kids today. It's just kind of like hitting home runs in home runs in the major leagues. Like, that's all anybody cares about anymore, you know? And it's a shame because defense is a big part of the game. Now, I remember the Knicks actually winning a championship, if you can believe it, right? I am that old that I can remember the Knicks winning a championship. And they won that championship with defense. You know, it's all about defense. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't play that clip of the
Election.
The election clip, yeah. Which is just a trip down memory lane. We've passed the we've passed the 100 days of the Trump administration, right? And I admit I'm a fan. I like the guy just because he's such an asshole and he pisses people off. And this is one of the reasons that I like him is because of what he does to people. I don't really give a shit any other way. But here it is. This is a compilation, and I love these things. I really do. This is the longer one. We'll play it. Why not? Because it's just so funny. This lady's good too. Is We Got Receipts. That's the name of the channel that these come from, and she's pretty funny. I like her. Because the hateful person, like she hates Republicans and she hates men, and she's got 19 cats. Like you can see it. You can see that this woman just smells like cat piss. No matter where she goes, she's got cat hair all over her and everything. Right? You can just see it. I don't need men. I have a vibrator.
She's got the haircut and
everything. Oh yeah, but she's not even a lesbian. Like she doesn't even have that going for her. You know, like.
The swing states. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right?
Oh, wait.
There's no world in which Donald Trump no imaginable world in which Donald Trump could ever win a popular majority in America.
What are we going to say to Donald Trump in November?
Is that Lance Bass?
Yeah. Yeah, but she's just playing.
I think they're going to call it Tuesday night, too.
She's definitely going to win the popular vote. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane, as he always does. He won't accept it.
These are the greatest pre-election cocky, taunting videos that Democrats and their supporters made just prior to the election. They aged like a fine milk. Starting with this absolutely genius poli-sci professor who taunted a minimum wage earning cashier.
We're closing in on all.
See, I don't know why she says minimum wage, because you don't know who this guy was. I say he was the store owner. Here, watch.
p.m. Eastern time, and I've been tracking everything that's been going on across the country today. And my most important encounter was when
And she's faking that laugh. She's not even really laughing. She's faking that so that you know how ridiculous this whole thing is. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so funny. It's so funny that I put this man in his place. This stupid man working in a liquor store.
She's really pushing her passion behind that laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's passionate. The laugh was fake, though.
I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne, and I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face, and I said, she's going to win this.
And it could have been like, oh, that's nice, And notice he didn't go crazy when she said she was a Harris fan. He didn't go nuts. This is how she knew that he voted for Trump. Because he didn't go crazy when she said, because it would have been either one of two things if he wasn't a Trump supporter, right? He would have gone, that's right, she's going to win. She's going to win, all these Republicans. Number two is he had a job, right? So she knew he voted for Trump. And number three is like, he didn't go nuts and go off on her for being a Harris supporter.
Is there a number 4?
Is there?
The cackle?
Well, he didn't know about her cackle at the time. He wasn't privy to that.
But that is a common denominator. They seem to have
no,
the
for
cackle.
her. I'm talking about how she knew he voted for Trump.
Oh, sure.
Like, how did she know? Because he was
'Cause
working.
he
voted
didn't
early,
cackle.
right? He voted early so he could be at work, right? He had a job. He probably had a flag, maybe an American flag in the store, right? The scumbag loved America, that piece of shit, like
and she still
all
gave
of these
him
things,
business.
right? But that's how she knew he voted for Trump, and why she knew she had to put him down. Now he didn't do that to her. He didn't tell, get out of my store. I don't want your business, you dirty fucking Democrat. They do that. A lot of them do it. They've kicked Republicans. You're not welcome here. Get out of here with that MAGA hat on and, all that bullshit. And this is part of the reason that I can't stand these people. Yeah.
Right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no.
Very politely, he says, yeah, it's pretty close. I don't know. And it's pretty close. I don't know. Oh, you're wrong, you stupid man. I know all about that shit. I'm a feminist. I know more than you do. Okay, all right. That'll be right, because she's not getting real champagne, right? Fuck no.
She's getting apple cider.
That'll be $11.90. Oh no, she's getting alcohol. There's alcohol in it. This is like Thunderbird with carbonation. That'll be $11.99. Thank you for the gallon of champagne you're buying. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard.
Are they?
Reproductive rights.
And they
is
did.
what
As it turns out, she was right about that.
And the women are voting.
Reproductive rights, and nobody cared. When it comes right down to it, what do people worry about? Feeding their fucking kids, man. You're more worried about not bringing children in the future. And the mothers of America told you it's more important to feed the kids I have now. See, and I tell you, this is where the Democratic Party has lost its way. When I'm a union man, like I'm a union guy. And I remember in 96, when my union says, oh, we're phone bankers, I was a steward. We're phone banking for Bill Clinton. I'm like, why? He gave us NAFTA. Like NAFTA killed unions in this country. It killed them. It killed the UAW. It killed the AFL-CIO. Because these companies just fucking moved. They went right to Mexico, started building shit there.
What about the YMCA?
I don't know what
did it affect that at all?
Why?
You were throwing out like TWOs and 1192s. I didn't get all the union code things.
You're a scab, aren't you, Walter? Weren't you a scab electrician?
Does that mean private company?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a sucker.
In numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa.
Uh-huh.
No.
And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst.
I'm a political analyst. I'm a proctologist.
And I can see you're an
This is like being trans, right? I'm a man today. I'm a woman today. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a that. Whatever I want to call myself.
She had the inside numbers.
It doesn't take anything to call yourself a political. All of us, by the way, anybody who comments on politics is a political analyst. It doesn't make you right. It doesn't. Walter and I are political analysts right now.
Officially.
Yeah. Walter asking if NAFTA had an effect on the YMCA. It's the same fucking thing as this woman.
It's a question that needs to be answered.
She's taking all these states. Yeah.
You realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course.
Of course, I knew.
I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right?
How did you know who he voted? Again, you arrogant bitch. How the fuck did you know who he voted for? How do you know? How do you know who he voted for? Oh, well, he's a man, isn't he?
I'll waste my vote on anybody.
I'm Batman.
And I didn't care.
I didn't care. I'm just an arrogant cunt. I didn't care. I bought my cheap champagne, paid the man his money. He made profit off of me. Do you think that's a good do you think he cared? Do you think he gave a fuck about what you think? Yeah. And right now he's telling everybody who comes in the store, yeah, you know that bitch on TV or on the internet?
She went viral. He's like, I'm that guy.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy. I'm the one that wasted my vote. No, honey. And by the way, she buys cheap champagne. Yeah.
A whole lot of people wasted their vote.
I wonder what she did with the champagne.
Cracked it over her head.
Yeah, her and Mr. Whiskers had a good night, good cry together, right? Yeah. I don't understand it, Mr. Whiskers.
Now there were 18 million fewer votes.
Yeah, 18 million, which tells you that maybe Trump wasn't wrong about the Biden thing being fixed to begin with. Like that doesn't dawn on an 18 million less people. Like this was less important than the Biden Trump.
A lot of people died.
Yeah, 18 million people didn't come out. Really? 18 million votes, and that doesn't ring a bell for anybody? Come on now.
2020. And as I have said all along, you have to have a huge turnout, and it goes to the Dems. And we didn't have it.
Why not? Why can't you factor that in? Why not? The other polls did. The other polls that got it right factored all that shit. You're saying, and that's another arrogant. Like, you're never going to win if that's what you go back to. Oh, it's just arrogance and racism. Bullshit. It was a shitty message and a shitty candidate. It was the fact that you people lied to us about absolutely everything. You did everything you could to stop Donald Trump from even running for president of the United States. And then you circumvented democracy. All these people yelling about democracy. You circumvented democracy by installing this candidate. There was no primary to put her in power. Nothing. You absolutely bypassed everything. She was a horrible candidate. It was a horrible election for you people. And until you get your heads out of your ass, this is the thing. I would love to save the Democratic Party. Didn't we? We started that, right? We did a video once on saving the Democratic Party. I think it's worth saving. A one-party system sucks. You can't. That's what will lead to totalitarianism, is a one-party system. But right now, you leave people with no choice. Look at all the Democrats you've lost to the Republican Party. The Republicans are the only people talking to the working class people. Now, when you look at this with these people who got pissed off, right, afterwards, and all the screaming that they do, what you're going to see is that there's so many of them that are yelling like, oh, you Trump people are all broke because you're not educated and everything. Here's a funny thing to me, and I pointed this out, and there was another video that we did where they're talking about, oh, you know, when they're realizing that it's over, right, and they're looking at Pennsylvania, that Trump is about to take Pennsylvania. And all of these people who scream about all the stupid, uneducated white people who voted for Donald Trump sit there waiting to see the minority vote for Kamala Harris. And I'm like, they don't see any irony in that, right? Well, we haven't seen the numbers from Philadelphia, Scranton, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh yet, and we're expecting. So come on, black people, get us over the hump. And those are the people you don't give a shit. You tell us, oh, we hope you're happy, you know, because now you want lowered prices on groceries. What do you think the moms living in those urban areas, the black mothers who are trying to feed their kids, just like the white mothers trying to feed their kids, right? Race knows no bounds when it comes to things like that. Everybody wants the best for their kids. Everybody. And you're telling these black mothers living in rough situations, right? These uneducated black mothers, right? Just like there's uneducated white mothers. What's going to concern people? And you so took that black vote for granted that when they didn't come out in droves and vote for you, that's what cost you. And you're not talking to these people anymore. You were telling them you were more concerned about illegal immigrants than you were about black people. Listen to black people in Chicago. Listen to the black people here in New York, up in Harlem, screaming at their representatives, get these illegals out of here. Like they're taking all these services away from us. American citizens can't get that shit. And in Chicago, Mayor Johnson's telling, fuck off. These minorities, these migrants are going nowhere. We're bringing more in. And what's he telling his constituents? And there are black people on the south side, the lower south side of Chicago who are saying, man, we're going red. We're going red because the only one talking to them is Donald Trump. And you can say that's bullshit, that's a lie. We'll get that other jerk off who doesn't know, didn't listen to the whole thing, talk about, oh, it's all lies. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You know?
I dare you, boy.
None of you. I climbed telephone poles for 25 years, worked in the shit, man. And you know, you sit there talking about workers of the world unite and all that Marxist bullshit. And that's exactly what it is. There's one kid talking to me about Marxism. I'm like, dude, you understand that it's like workers of the world unite. You're sitting there working, man. Yeah, that's from The Godfather.
Bronx Tale.
Oh, Bronx. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, how could I forget that one?
You're right. The working man is a sucker.
Yeah. Fuck Mickey Mantle. That goes back to the Juan Soto. You think your old man loses
Fuck
his
Soto.
job, Mickey Mantle's going to come pay your rent?
I think Soto's paying your fucking...
That's it.
For your ice cream?
Let's...
That charges you $20 at City?
Hold on.
Silence is gold.
Yeah. I know. Keep talking, right?
Keep talking.
This is my ex-wife. She's
Love to see that dude's reaction right now. How she told that cashier that she's an expert and he needs to trust the experts and that he wasted his vote. Also, is it me or does she look like if Sarah Palin really let herself go, i.e. joined the 4B movement?
this annoying bitch too.
I mean, not to be, cocky, but
He knows how to do that. Oh, they went to sleep in one. They went to sleep in one.
People are telling me to change Texas to blue. Look at how many votes we have to play with.
Harold, you can do it bareback tonight, honey.
I don't care what Trump plans on doing.
You do now.
You get to fill a new hole every time we win a swing state, baby.
There you go.
This guy was right about two things. They did call it
Cream
Tuesday
pie,
night,
anyone?
and it was a landslide for Trump.
Hey, Kamala. What are we
This
going to say
fucking
to
guy.
Donald Trump in November?
bye, bye, bye.
Oh God, in his pink sweater, and they did actually. She said bye, 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 bye.
Fucking Lance. What are you doing there, Lance? I kind of dig the cashmere though. I'd rock it.
Is it cashmere?
It looks a little cashmere.
Look like it could be a mohair sweater. Yeah. All right.
Ellen DeGeneres is looking rough these days. Why is it
Well,
that
okay,
every
I stand corrected. They did put a man in it. Yeah. Okay.
celebrity that showed up to cash a check from the Kamala Harris campaign this year just also happens
And
to
that's
be
another
on
thing.
the Diddy list?
This chick, yeah, I like that, the Diddy list. This chick paid $1 billion she spent in 109 days. $1 billion. And that's only a fraction of what she would have done to our economy.
Has she ever heard of window shopping? Jesus.
Well, Beyonce got like $8 million. Oprah got a couple $1 million.
And she cock teased everybody. They
yeah,
thought
she
they were
didn't
going
even
to a
perform.
Beyonce
Right. All that money, and she
concert.
didn't even sing a fucking song. At least show us your tits.
That alone probably won the popular vote for the Republicans. They walked out of that and said, "What the fuck is this?"
Right,
Jip?
and this is what we can expect: an absolute letdown. Who was the other? Oprah. Oh, I didn't get a dime, and she was right. Like they fact checked it, right? Oh, it's fact checked.
She
Oprah
indeed
didn't get
got
anything.
more than a dime. No, she didn't. Take
Harpo
any.
Productions
Oh.
got $2 million,
And it funneled.
Oprah didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Your production company got the money, Oprah. Yeah, way to get around. This one I love too. This chick right here. This is funny.
It was posted after the election, but it's just too good
Right.
not to share.
If you're a conservative woman, here's how I'm gonna fix your life, okay? So you just got married to your husband. Your husband is blatant, just redneck garbage. You like him though, for some reason, something there is clicking. I'm gonna seduce your husband. I'm gonna seduce your husband.
Yeah, because a lot of redneck men would find that attractive. That woman boy or whatever the hell it is. she's gonna be attractive to a redneck husband.
She's lucky to be a late
Look
night
him in the
hit.
eye.
Look at.
And I'm gonna explain to him that Nobody has ever made me feel the way he has. And I'm younger than you.
Well, no man anyway.
And then he's gonna slap you
Right.
until you go to the fucking kitchen.
Yeah, what would happen if he did right? He gives her a look, bitch. He put her in her place, and she got all wet downstairs. Right?
Look
like,
at
oh
here,
my
you
God.
want that redneck motherfucker?
This
You
really
got
is
it.
better than these cock fucking leftist boys that have been fucking sniffing up my crotch. Yeah.
He turns into a boy lover.
Woman that married him.
Well, he makes me want to go shave my armpits.
Start like explaining that I'm just so fun and I like doing fun shit because you're probably married and you can't do fun shit. And then once I do that, and I
What? So she doesn't think married people can do fun shit? What kind of fun shit is she talking about?
At least we're not alone.
your fucking marriage arc, he's gonna cause some irrational feelings, which is going to establish itself in your marriage problems. And then you're gonna be like, why am I doing this shit for a man?
And she's going to do this to every conservative guy because it was like Trump got like 170 million
phone,
her camera, and her cat.
Talking about how she's gonna steal an invisible redneck from his invisible wife.
All of them. Yeah. All the redneck.
It's the
men.
ultimate fantasy world
Yeah.
in this girl's head.
This is where we get you. Get you, because then you're like, why am I supporting a guy that isn't doing anything for me? There you go.
She has
I didn't get anything from that.
I didn't understand it.
comedian.
Get you.
No wonder I need a buku.
Look out, women. This emaciated non-binary is gonna seduce your husband with her charms. Somehow I suspect the seduction plan would only work if the husband is secretly gay. But hey, it sounds like she's gonna make the first move. She's gonna be like, let's free Palestine together. Let's go on a date at the police station. I'll bring the kerosene. I think if a conservative
Come here,
guy wanted
bitch,
to
guzzle my
Antifa,
Gaza.
he could just join the police force.
Trump supporters thought they had this in the bag. But look at these numbers. He's still going down. She's still going up.
see a
It's
lot of
just
red
been a
there.
crazy turn of events. We are one day away from this election, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset.
Am I
This
crazy?
lady
There's
is
a
right
lot of
about
red
one
there.
thing.
Yeah.
A lot
already.
of people were deeply upset.
Well, this, again,
Oh, man.
if you look at this, if you look at a map of the counties that voted red, the only places that voted blue were urban areas, minorities,
Yeah.
and you got to ask yourself, like, what the fuck are the Democrats doing for you? Like, shit is worse for black people now than at any point.
Shit is habitual.
So what are these people doing for you? You've been voting for them for 100 fucking years. When is it enough? When do you say, I don't think it's working? Like, this one,
Hit
I
the
love
reset.
this. I love this.
This one's great.
So how do we let people like this vote? Like women
How do
like
we let
this.
people like this drive?
Nah.
She's behind the wheel doing this
But
shit.
dude, she's making
She parked in a
decisions.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Like how do you, like these people are so erratic. When you look at all of them, and there's a
And I'm
there's so
sorry
much.
to say, I know Nikki Haley is now trying to come back into
Nikki
the fold,
Haley.
trying to come back to Trump. Maybe I'm a bad person.
Nikki
I just
Haley's
do
a
not
Liz
trust
Cheney.
this lady after
No,
what she
hell
tried
no.
to do. I think she was also funded by like Reid Hoffman, this major Democrat donor.
And if Donald Trump is the nominee, mark my words, we will see a President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
It always seemed like
Another
she was this
insight.
close to pulling a Liz Cheney. And this, folks, is the pièce de résistance. Bill Maher, who occasionally tries to sound critical of the Democrat Party for clout, committed the most spoiled milk take of them all.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
Nah.
So you think he's just worn it out? You think
Yes.
people are just going to get fatigued?
Enough. I
Just
feel
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people, perhaps. But I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane, as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will...
And again, I point this out. I didn't vote for him in 2016. In fact, I thought he was a buffoon, right? I voted for him in 2020 because I could already see that the Biden was dementia. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted. It was Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper in his new book.
Who's that?
Jake Tapper. He wrote a book. He's an anchor at CNN who was part of the fucking cover-up of Biden's dementia. Wrote a book about the cover-up of Biden's dementia. Like, you talk about balls, right? I forget what I was. Speaking of dementia. Oh, 2020. I voted for Trump over Biden because of the dementia. I said, this guy is unfit. If it wasn't for the pandemic in 2020, Trump definitely would have won. I am of the belief that he did win. 80 million, or what was it, 80 million fewer votes, or 18 million fewer votes, as the Democrat lady pointed out, 18 million fewer votes, which actually ridiculous suits that were brought against him, all these attempts to get him off the ballot, or 2 mortgages through fraud, right? And this is how you do business. This is how you do business. You knowingly buried the Hunter Biden story in 2020. Like, you did all these fucking things. Please, I don't need to be lectured by these people. But Jake Tapper is the one. Here, I got the thing on that, and we're lectured by these people. But Jake Tapper is the one. Here, I got the thing on that, and we'll do that. You got to leave? What do you got to do, Walter?
That's because we're heating up in here.
Knowing what I know.
We're on fire.
This is Jake Tapper, who went on Megyn Kelly. And again, Jake Tapper was part of the cover-up. This guy was part of the cover-up. I
didn't watch this, but I seen like a thumbnail of it.
Well, now, he's doing a press tour. And I saw one where he's like, I didn't do this for the money. I did it because it was, bullshit. But he's absolutely fucked up his whole reputation because now his people don't want to watch him because he fucking turned on. I don't blame them, right? I don't blame them. And Republicans aren't watching him because he's a jerk off. He's a fucking. The legacy media, as I said, legacy media is just shot to hell. And this is the reason why. Like, people say, I wonder why they don't trust us. I love it listening to them. But you can go back to Hillary and how you absolutely disregarded Bernie Sanders, even though he won the primary. You put Hillary in, right? Just absolutely disregarded democracy on that one. You buried the Hunter Biden thing.
Oh, you said 7th. I just said my birthday's on the 6th.
You fucked me all up.
That's what I like doing.
You got all of these things like again, 34 indictments. You can, as one guy famously said, you can indict a ham sandwich. And you can even convict them if you have the judge and everybody else in your pocket. You can obviously convict anybody. All of these things, taking Biden out and putting Harris in and covering up the dementia, like we all knew it. You could see, and giving us this bullshit. Well, he used to stutter when he was 5, and you're making. He did it. Tapper did that. Laura Trump was on, and this is famous. Oh, you're making fun of him because he stutters. Don't you feel horrible that children who stutter right now, you're making them feel bad? He actually said that to her, knowing the whole time. And then telling us, well, are you a neurologist? Are you a neurologist? What? It's like, you have to be a biologist to know the difference between a boy and a girl. Do you have a medical degree? You can't have an opinion on anything unless you're an absolute fucking expert in the field. It's ridiculous. Again, I'm a political analyst. How do you know? Well, I analyze politics. I don't do it very well, but it's what I do, And here we go.
Self-proclaimed.
Obviously.
I give him credit. He had the balls to go on Megyn Kelly, right?
Tremendous humility about my coverage.
You have no
that Laura
humility,
Trump
you
interview,
fucking
for
jerk
example,
off.
etc.
Laura
She
Trump.
saw some.
That's the one I was
She
talking
saw
about.
something that I did not see at the time.
Okay, now to not see Biden's dementia, you're either a liar or a fucking moron. Which is it? To believe this bullshit that he stuttered when he was 5, and that's why he doesn't know where he's walking, why he falls upstairs, why he loses his place all the time. He looks like he's out in the fucking ether. You're either a liar or a moron. Which one is it, Jake? And in either case, I don't want to watch you anymore. Like, go away now. You're a fucking disgrace. Disgraziata, right?
Disgraziata.
100%. And I own that. I did ask Joe Biden
I did.
to be transparent about his health records in an interview in 2020. I did ask him about the fact that voters thought that
This guy sounds like a fanook.
He was not transparent at all. No.
He promised you that he would be transparent about his health records, and then he wasn't. And when you sat with him again,
at all.
including 1 month after the Jackie Walorski thing, you didn't ask him about it. You didn't follow up on the fact that he was falling up the stairs. He was losing his train of
You
thought
never
regularly, that
questioned
he
him
was
at all.
slurring, that he was incomprehensible.
Because you didn't want to put a bad image out there. It's the same reason you didn't talk about the Hunter Biden laptop bullshit. Where the fucking, the president's crackhead son, you know, was selling shit to the fucking Ukrainians. Get the fuck out of here.
He was getting lost on the White House lawn. You sat right across from him and you asked none of
Nothing.
that, notwithstanding the fact
Never
that he had
challenged
promised
him.
you he would be fully transparent about his health issues.
That's true.
That's true. I did do that. But, yeah, go ahead.
But I did ask him about his age and the fact that the
I asked him,
American
"How
people
old
had
are you
concluded
anyway?"
that even though
Boy,
he
you
said
look great
whenever
for
he
your
brought up
age.
the subject of his age,
fuck
watch
outta
me. And I said,
yes,
they're watching you and they are concerned that you were too old for this job.
But you,
So
you know as well as I do that there's a way of, you can say, hey, there's this poll on your age, or you could say, you just forgot that Jackie Walorski was dead.
I remember that.
Asked
yeah.
where she
Stand. Yeah. And then I think this guy's his jerk off lawyer, right? Do not answer that, Jake. Don't incriminate yourself.
to bring it home to him and to the audience, and you didn't do it.
that's correct. I didn't. And like I said, I feel humility about my coverage. I mean, it's not like I was asking him his favorite.
There's a difference between humility and humiliation, right? We talk about that in recovery. You have to practice humility, otherwise you get humiliated. There was no humility. You didn't listen to anybody. Anyone on the, like, all these people on the right were telling this guy, look, this guy's fucking, he's dementia ridden. Oh, you're just a bigot against stutterers. That's your problem. You're just fucking anti-stuttering. You fucking jerk off.
Or his favorite color. We were talking about Putin. We were talking about other issues of national importance.
Putin.
But
I just Putined in my pants. And it turns out they were rubber stamping everything, right? Mm-hmm. Here. Well,
I mean, of course, I've said I look back at my coverage with humility, and
no,
I wish
humiliation.
I did cover the issues of age and acuity, but I wish I had covered them much more. And I wish, I mean, of course.
How about at all? How about you covered them at all? The only thing you covered was to bash people who questioned his mental acuity. That's all you'd covered was that, you fucking dick.
It's May 2025.
I swear too much, huh? Yeah.
Do I wish that in that
You're asking me
10, 15-minute interview I had with Biden in October 2022, that this had been the only subject because I had then
Well, it
what I
wasn't
know
just that,
now?
though, Jake. It wasn't just that. I mean, you sat with him a couple of times in the course of his presidency.
And let me ask you, and if Trump had been in the same spot and you had an interview with Trump, don't you think you would have just harped on that shit? Like, you would have stayed on that like stink on shit, right? This is the same guy who in another interview, somebody said, well, you're a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. Okay. No, I'm a fucking full-fledged communist. Like, get the fuck out of here.
These
Who are you
issues were
trying to
not
kid?
pressed. Well, there was at least that time, and then there was the time at the beginning. And but separate and apart from that, you covered the Biden's presidency. No. Let me just finish my point. You covered the Biden presidency.
With him during his I had one
okay, right, and it was 13 days after the Jackie Walorski thing. But you covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly
ever.
at all.
Right.
I mean, time and time again, when issues came
Who's this
up,
guy
you
over
seemed to be
here?
running
When is he?
cover for the president.
He's the audio
You
engineer.
seem interested. Well, I mean, we'll start with the Laura Trump issue that you referred. Here it is. This happened in 2020.
Right.
Joe Biden, as we all know, has worked to overcome a stutter.
She said, "We got
How do you think it
receipts,
makes little kids with
motherfucker."
stutters feel when they see you make a comment
How
like
you
that?
think you're making stutterers feel, you stupid bitch? Yeah.
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to.
Okay,
It
we're
makes
out of
me
here.
uncomfortable.
This is a man who just wrote a book on the cover-up of the cognitive decline.
Cut it.
And look at what he. Okay, yeah. Okay, you stupid cunt. You're just
her mic.
You're just a nasty, mean cunt who hates stutterers. That's your problem. You stutterer bigot, you. Yeah, that's it. We're done here. We're done here. You horrible. Take her out and shoot her. She's anti-stutterer. You know, like she's almost as bad as being a racist. You know.
Got another one to add to the livestock.
That's it. Yeah. You'll be pig food by tonight. Yeah.
You are
To watch somebody on stage search for
That's so
questions.
amazing.
You're trying to tell
What do you? Again, you're either a liar or you're an idiot. Which is it?
genuinely
you,
feel
Laura
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it was from a place of concern. We all believe that. Laura Trump, thank you so much.
You condescending douchebag. You condescending. Yeah.
Do you want to apologize to Laura Trump now?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, dickhead.
I've already apologized to her. I called her months ago.
Months ago.
And what did she say?
I mean, I don't want to disclose the contents of a private conversation, but
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
the conversation went well. And she has said this publicly, so I feel fine sharing it. She said that she would never mock anybody's stutter.
Yeah.
But I mean, after we did the research for this book, and I realized how bad
did you start
his
writing the
acuity
book?
issues were.
Now, the election was in November. Now, they started the research for the book when? January, when he took office? February? Telling me he banged out this book in 3 months? 2 months? Get the fuck out of here. Got it to the publisher, had everything done, did all the galleys and all that shit.
He definitely didn't take any stutter steps.
No stutter steps at all, because we know how he loves stuttering, though, you know? But I contend that he started writing the book before the election. Like, he knew all this shit before he had to. It's either that or this fucking idiot wrote a book in a month. I don't think he's capable.
I called Laura Trump and I said you were right.
She was totally right. That's the thing, because when I watched that clip, and I'm
This whole
giving voice
interview
to what a
is
lot of
like
people
putting a
watching the show
dog's
are
face
feeling,
in the
Jake.
shit.
I feel angry because she was right,
bad.
and not only did you not allow her to make her
But
comments,
the dog is looking at you going, I don't think it's so hard. You know, it's just, I smell other dogs' assholes. My shit's okay, you know?
you seemed to try to humiliate her. You had a hostility
you did,
toward
right.
the position.
You
but
were
she was
dismissive
totally
and condescending.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you lectured her on how she was in no position to diagnose cognitive decline, which you guys do at length, including on page 4 of your book.
Right.
You describe at length his cognitive decline, which is all she tried to do with you.
Right.
But you had such a visceral reaction to her. And my feeling is that's because you didn't want to hear it.
No, I'm happy to talk about this. I didn't come here thinking that you weren't going to ask me about this. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
I expected this.
The first time I
100%.
saw the coverage of Laura Trump's comments, which were interpreted as her mocking Joe Biden's stutter, was in January 2020. I read it in conservative media. I read it in the Daily Mail. And that's where I saw that her comments were being interpreted that way. After those comments were publicized, it got a lot of coverage.
Yeah. He's such a douche. Wonder if they have this. Yeah, it's too long. These are too long. I wanted to, because there's one cut where he says, I'm not a Democrat. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Okay, Jake. Whatever you say, you fucking asshole. All right, God, go away. And this is why nobody trusts them, though. Like, how can you trust people that are this duplicitous? Like, he wrote a book on this. Like I said, he wrote a book on the very thing he absolutely denied. He writes a book on the cover-up. You were part of it. You were the lead White House correspondent for the #1 Democratic fucking channel, CNN, right? They were the Communist News Network. Like, it's a running joke in conservative circles. Like, you people ran, and look, Fox does it for the Republicans. Don't get me wrong. I think Fox is just as reprehensible as CNN. A one-party system. When there's no fairness in this stuff, right? It doesn't work. Like, I left watching I don't watch TV, you know? Like, I don't watch these people because it's all a lie. Fox lies, CNN lies. It's really hard. That's why legacy media is shot. Like, nobody wants to watch. I can't watch Fox. I do watch a lot of Joe Rogan. And it's not Joe Rogan, people on the right. No, Joe Rogan does a lot of shit. Like, his podcasts very seldom actually are about politics. It's about a lot of different shit. He talks about a lot of different stuff. But he brings people on who have diverse opinions, you know, and it ranges. And most of the wackadoodles you get are on the left. Most of the people who you can't reason with, can't talk with, look, for people who don't mind spending money on a better yarmulke. Anyway, I want to get some change, right? Anyway, and he did this thing. He went to a Trump rally, right? He goes to a Trump rally, and people embraced him. And he says, I'm for the USA. And then the lady there, she says, let me go with you to the Harris rally. And she's a known conservative. And they're telling, get out of here, you piece of shit. Like, there's no arguing with these people. Like, and they call it Trump derangement syndrome. And it's really what it is. Like, these people, if this man, and I said this before the election. Now, Trump actually said it during one of his addresses, but I've been saying it for years. Walter's heard me say it. Is this guy could cure cancer. Like he said, I, Donald J. Trump, found the cure for cancer. And people on the left would call him a racist because they would say, well, more white, of course he found the cure for cancer because more white people die of cancer than black people. And what now? What are we going to do with all these people who aren't dying of cancer? How are we going to feed them? He wants people to starve. Like, you know, there's no winning with these people. It doesn't matter what this guy does. The tariffs, people talk about tariffs. I talk about NAFTA a lot, right? Like, NAFTA fucking killed these unions. And why? Well, Detroit is done because when NAFTA came in, all of the auto manufacturers, they went to Mexico. They're paying nothing. A great Detroit Free Press, you can look it up. The Detroit Free Press did a great article in 2022 on the Silverado, the Chevy Silverado plant outside of Mexico City. They're paying their people between $8 and $32 a day. And all those good union jobs gone from America. These tariffs are an attempt to bring manufacturing back to the country because we don't compete fairly in these countries. Say what you want. We can't freely bring products into China and sell them to the Chinese people because of the situation. Yet they bring their shit in here and they sell it to us. Fuck that. Let's make stuff here at home. And that's the whole thing. Between the revenues that we'll raise with the tariffs and bringing jobs back home. Apple's already put in, I think it was $500 billion. They're building a complex down in Texas. And it's a direct result of this.
Ralph Lauren said, go fuck yourself.
Bring people back. What did he do? I don't know. Explain. I don't understand what you...
No, I saw...
Told who to go fuck themselves.
I saw somewhere where they said Ralph Lauren was getting hit with the tariffs and... because of that, they're raising their prices on the customers.
But that's fine. Let them do that, so people won't buy it.
Exactly. That's what I told my wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, these fuckers.
Yeah.
They're so gready that they're willing to suck you dry.
Yeah.
So you could pay $300 for a fucking sweater.
Right. And here it is, because what you're doing when you say I don't want this, it's going to make these products. What you're doing is extolling the virtues of slave labor. And it's so funny for me to hear Marxist people talk about how great slave labor is. And that's exactly what it is. And I said that to a person I know, and I'm not going to call them a friend, but it's an acquaintance who's a big Marxist, right? And you know what this is going to do to the average consumer? I said, so you think slave labor is great then? That's what what are you talking about? I said, well, it's a fact. Like, how do you think that they make a product 10,000 miles away, ship it to New York, and send it to my house for half the price of what we would do making it here in the United States and shipping it to my house? How do you think they're able to do that? They pay nothing for the production. Almost all the cost is in shipping and materials. It is not in the labor. And you're the people that run around here talking about, labor, help the working people. Yet you sit here telling me how great slave labor is, because that's what it is. These people in Mexico, like I said, making between $8 and $35 a day, right? And that's okay, but here you want $20 minimum wage and count that. Slave labor, slave labor is great, isn't it? And it's, people think it's a joke about the Nike factories that they put the nets under. They really did that. Like, that's a real thing. People were jumping out of the windows. And the government's like, no, you ain't getting out that easy, motherfucker.
Good luck, everybody else.
Man, and I'm all for it. Listen, these are good union jobs that we lost here, man. You want to buy an American-made car, you have to buy like a Honda or a Toyota. They're like the only two companies that make everything right here in the U.S. I own a Ford, right? I remember buying, I got my Ford, right, to help those American, union. They're like, well, actually 75% of it is made in Mexico. It's Mexican labor, and you bring it across, and there's no tariffs coming back into the country. And it's the way they get around all this shit. You know, they ship shit. They make shit in China. They ship the parts to Mexico, assemble it in Mexico, and bring it in. It's covered. Bullshit. Anyway, that's it for today, I think. I'm done. I'm tired. Yeah, I think it's good.
Fucking trash.
Yeah, and I gotta. Yeah. Okay. Let me. 5 minutes. Okay. All right, folks. If you've made it this far and you haven't done so already, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and all that good shit. We like to think we put out good content. If you have any questions or comments, or if you disagree, listen. By all means, make yourself known. But I love these ambiguous comments like "you lie." Well, about what? Be specific. It's a fucking 2.5 hour show. We talk about a lot of different topics. Somebody said I lied about Diddy. I didn't lie. Nothing I said about Diddy was a lie.
I think Diddy needs to worry about them lies.
Yeah, it's a lot of lawyers, and I don't think he's going to get as much time as people think he's going to get, unless something really breaks. And they've been at this now for what, about?
Should be.
So we'll see you Thursday, about 12:30-ish. This is like the BET channel, right? When we get around to it.
We're on trashy TV time.
Yeah. Also, we have a trash TV video coming out tomorrow. It's very funny. It's my trans father's, whatever the fuck it is.
Trans stepfather.
Yeah, she's 15 years old, and she, whatever it is 15 and took in this girl and her baby, and it's very funny and sad all at the same time. We hope to see you there.
Let's laugh together.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
cry together.
As we say, Walter and I are here just to comment on the flushing the toilet of society, and we're here to describe the spin. That's about the way we put it, right, Walter?
Sure.
All right. So we'll see you next time. Be well. Thank you, and have a great week. Bye now.